Hello, I'm Jennifer and welcome to my library. I'm a chaotic neutral. I feel like something's missing over here. I'm a chaotic neutral mechanical engineer who's really into permaculture and wants to talk about books. So let's have somebody try to break into my room. Stop. It was both of the boys. Let's talk about books. Today, I actually have not exactly a book video. I have been exploring something recently, like very recently, the last couple weeks. I'm very tentative about it. I'm very cautious with being too sure of anything with this whole thing. Basically, I've been exploring the possibility that I might be a high masking autistic woman. Don't tell me if you think I'm not high masking. I don't think I would take that very well. So anyway, I would like to explore something with all of you this month for my creative project. This year I have a goal to do one video every month that is focused on a creative project. And the goal of that was to explore some of my own writing and then general like artistic kind of creative projects, have like a complete thing at the end of a month that I could share with everybody. And this month, the thing that I'm being really called to is related with this exploration of mine with the idea that I might be a high masking autistic woman. So the idea that I want to explore is like dedications, the little writing in books. And I have a lot of older and secondhand books. Almost all of my books are secondhand. Some of them have writing inside. And I was watching this video the other day. It was this man who had purchased a dead person's book collection. And a part of this video was going through and like reading some of those. And so I would like to scan those in and collect them. The other morning, I had this thought that it would be so cool to do that. And then I limited myself almost immediately. No, that's like weird girl behavior. It's not productive. It's weird. Move on. I do lead a lot of my life like that, regardless of whatever my brain might be doing. I don't want to do that to myself anymore. And I would like to be able to be more authentic, especially in my own home. I was thinking about how sad it is that I feel the need to do that, like to hide myself from myself. And so I would like to explore some of these weird things that I do. I think the most relevant comparison I have for another like weird thing that I did was that colors and books video where I did a bunch of color swatches. I named the colors and then I paired the colors with the books. That was like a very pure thing that I wanted to do that I knew was niche and weird. I know that this is also niche and weird, but I also think that it might be interesting for everybody because all of you are book people. All of you know the love of books. And so I think you also might be interested in these scanned images of what people have to say in books. So that's my introduction. It's going to be a lot of work. I'm going to have to take out like a ton of books and evaluate which ones have writing in them and which ones don't. So I do anticipate this taking quite a long time. It's a bit of a weird one. And again, a very personal thing that I've been exploring recently. Please don't be too mean to me. I would love if you would be nice. So I have to update all of you on my scanning in of the book inscriptions. I scanned a bunch of books in from this bookshelf. I did the top shelf, well, on top of the bookshelf, the top shelf, and then the one below that. I went through all of those books and picked out some that had something inside, either written or like a sticker or a stamp or something. So that was really fun for me. Then spent some time last night and edited in Photoshop basically the scan of the book cover and some sort of overlay of whatever was inside, putting that text or that image on the cover in a way that I thought made sense for the individual cover and the material inside of the book. I don't know if this is all in my head, but I feel like they pair so beautifully. The material on the inside and the covers all really feel very cohesive to me. So I've been having a really fun time with that. There is one that I have to rescan. I think it's the 20th today. It's Easter. Happy Easter. And so I do have a little bit more time to wrap this project up through the end of the month. I did a couple of edits on camera just now, and then I was like, oh, I should scan in some more books because I have to scan in what's written in player piano again because it got cut off when I scanned it the first time. It's this Electra #1, which I think is so cool. I don't know what it means, but I like it. And then I thought I would do some more books. So I also found inside my copy of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I have this Fuller. And I have to go through and find if there's anything on this bottom shelf here that also has anything inside. But I was like, oh, I'll get some footage of me scanning these books in. And I realize I scan to the SD card that is in this camera, and so I can't. So let's go over to my scanner. So I have this little lamp here that I have to relocate when I do this. And then I have this beautiful scarf that I throw over on my dressmaker's model. And then this is a scanner that I have, which is just some old Brother printer. And I'm gonna go beep, and you know, beautiful, right? Anyway, that's me over here scanning. Now to actually steal this SD card. Hello, it's me at the end of the video, at the end of this project. I'm going to go through all of the scanned in covers and, you know, little inscriptions and little things that I found inside these books. But I also want to give a bit of an update. I'm pretty sure at the beginning of this video I mentioned that I am exploring the possibility that I might be autistic, and it's been a little bit since then, not very long, but I think at least a week. And I have been reading and watching so much more since then about the autism spectrum. I am now at the point where I'm pretty sure I'm autistic, and I don't think I'm going to try to get a diagnosis. It's not a great time to have that on a record, unfortunately, just because of the whole, like, you know, going back to Nazism. So I'm not going to be pursuing that at all. But I just thought that was kind of, honestly, a huge eye-opening experience for me. It all started because I saw this video. It's also been something that I've been thinking about for literally years. And every time I've kind of thought about looking into it, I was like, no, I like don't have problems understanding sarcasm. I don't have big miscommunications with like nuance and stuff like that. So I was like, there's no way. But I would see, like, I would watch Love on the Spectrum and some things would be really relatable to me. And anyway, I saw this video about this woman. She was talking about stims. One of her stims was like kind of like pinching her neck. And I found that extremely relatable. And I do this thing with my hands where I like do this, and like I'm always doing this, and like even this constantly. I do that every single day of my life, and I have since I was a child. I remember distinctly my sister walking by me on the bus, and she's like, "Why are you always doing that with your hands?" And I didn't know why, and I since then was cognizant of it, and it is still the thing that I do the most that I've never been able to stop, but it's like fairly small. It's been a huge eye-opening thing for me, as I think anybody who goes through this could imagine. Since then, I've learned so much more about what autism looks like, especially in people who are high masking and low support needs. I have been so like questioning and critical of it the whole time. The consensus I've come to, I'm pretty sure I'm autistic. That was not really what I was expecting to come to the conclusion of, but it is. Let's get into looking at these book covers after that big life update. Hello. I have self-diagnosed myself. Hi, I guess. First cover. Let's go into the first cover now. Anne of Green Gables. I love Anne of Green Gables so much. I just started watching the anime. It made me cry like 3 times in the first episode. And in this book, we have in the cover, Robin Kurtz. Hi, Robin. If you found my video, I have your book from when you were a child, I presume. Now this one, Angela Y. Davis, Our Prison's Obsolete. This one did come to me annotated. I'm fairly certain this was from a college course. Kirsten Burke? Something similar to that. So hello, Kirsten, I have your old book. I really enjoy this one as well. I think it's a great, short introduction to the US prison system. Especially if you live in California. California has a huge prison industrial complex thing going on, and Californians are weirdly incredibly not human when it comes to thinking of prisoners, which has been very disappointing to me. I suggest that you read this. The next cover, Becoming a Writer by Dorothea Brand. Gosh, I don't know what the signature is at all, but I love the handwriting. This book, Becoming a Writer, is really such a lovely way to approach the idea of writing and being a writer. I feel like this book on writing is really such a gentle way to approach exactly what it says, becoming a writer. It's like getting into being a writer as like a mindset, and some practices at the end of like what you can do to start. I love this book. I've read this a couple times, and anytime I feel this compulsion to start writing again, I read this book because it's just so inspiring. So Butterfly and Caterpillar by Barry Watts belonged to Jason Morales. Love the handwriting. I don't know if this is Jason's handwriting, but it's really satisfying. It is a children's book with all of these photographs of cabbage white butterflies in all of the different stages, which I love because cabbage whites are found in so many gardens. John Barleycorn by Jack London. Again, I think this inscription just suits this book so incredibly well. It's got the same like tone as the photograph on the cover. So this is Young 99, English 11, Honors Plus, I assume. Love that somebody read this in 1999 for their English 11 Honors Plus class. It's a banger. Highly recommend John Barleycorn. There's actually like a lot of Jack London in this subset for whatever reason. Clara and the Sun had a little like magazine torn out piece from a puzzles page. So there's like the answers to one of the puzzles, and then there's like a little snippet of another puzzle. I love how this came together. Again, something about this just really fits with Clara and the Sun. Doing these like puzzle computations is like this like robotic person and like also a companion. It just fits. Little Eyes by Samantha Schweblin has the best stamp on the inside for the cover. This color matches perfectly with the cover. It was not altered in any way. This is purely just what the stamp looks like. I can't exactly read it either. It's like Maria Helena Fair, maybe? Next we come to Operating Manual for Spaceship Earth by R. Buckminster Fuller. And I love this cover. I think it is so iconic. These photographs and the way that they're organized is very satisfying. And this had written in it some text that looked like prices, possibly. There's $3.95 and then $2.88. This book is such a weird one. It's very unusual. It's written very unusually. Something about it just works for me. Pilgrim at Tinker Creek by Annie Dillard. This belonged to a high school library, or a high school. I can't exactly pick it up. It's something county high school. So anyway, it used to belong to some high school. The redaction marks I find very pleasing, and just kind of how they fit in with this cover design I think looks quite nice. Pilgrim at Tinker Creek is one of my favorite examples of nature writing, and I really loved it. Then we have Planetfall by Emma Newman. This says SBOD. What it means, I don't know. Written in marker, and it's very dynamic. I quite like it. I think the cover for Planetfall is genuinely terrible. That's my opinion on that. But anyway, SBOD, Player Piano by Kurt Vonnegut. I'm a little disappointed that more of my Kurt Vonnegut collection doesn't have inscriptions, but this one is so mysterious. It says, Electra #1. And for Electra #1 to be in Player Piano, which is basically about automation and robotics taking jobs from people and increasing the power imbalance of capitalist systems. Just Electra #1. I'm like, is this a robot? Did a robot read this book? I love it. I also love the handwriting. That A is iconic. That #1 is iconic. I love it. Solaris by Stanislaw Lem belonged to the Camas Public Library in Washington. This little barcode looks beautiful. The cover of this book has this like film, this laminate, because it belonged to a library, it was like given extra protection, and it has peeled up in this extremely unsatisfying way. But the barcode lines with these lines of like stretched film on the cover really play against each other nicely. And that withdrawn stamp, I quite love the double meaning of like being like emotionally withdrawn with the theme of Solaris. I really enjoy this. The Call of the Wild by Jack London. This is a huge book that I have. It's got these big illustrations, and this belonged to Tony Bagel. Love this signature. It has so much intention and thought put into every little swoop. It is done very beautifully, and I think it's very lovely. You can see in this that there was some yellowing of the page at the top, but I just thought I'd leave that in because I like it. I like the ambiance. I think it's beautiful. Now, The Factory by Hiroko Oyamada belonged to the Emerson Public Library in Emerson, New Jersey. And it has this cute little icon as well, which I like. And I just thought this looked very beautiful in the smoke. I don't know, the kind of organized minimalism of this cover and even the font of this stamp, I'm like, it all goes together very beautifully. In my copy of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, we have the last name Fuller, and it was written with this blue marker, and I love that as well. I think it goes so beautifully with this cover. This cover I also very highly dislike. I think it's pretty ugly. My copy of The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury belonged to the Luther Burbank School in San Francisco, California. And it also has this little stamp that says 96. And I don't know if that's like the class of 96 or what. I love the Luther Burbank font. Luther Burbank as a guy is extremely inspiring to me. I have some of his cactus pads. I find Luther Burbank one of the most interesting people. This is my favorite inscription that I have in any of my books. This is from a copy of The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway, and it says, I'm not sure if the name is George or Jorge, or if it's not even any of those because it is kind of messily written, but it says, to Jorge, enjoy this book. Your friend in fishing, Rich. Goodness gracious. I love that Rich says, your friend in fishing. Gosh, it fills my heart. I love it so much. The Old Man and the Sea is the perfect book for one fisherman to give to another. Now, The Sea Wolf by Jack London just had this really innocuous little scribble with like a blue ballpoint pen, like along one of the like little seams in the back of the book. And I don't know, I just kind of love it. The texture of this book is beautiful. The illustration on the cover, I love so much. This little book, I really, really enjoyed the feeling of this little book. And just having this, like, some little kid just got a hold of this book and was like, nah. And I like that. Then we have The Wild Robot by Peter Brown. And this belonged to Epps Island Elementary. And I increased the transparency of this, like, this was a sticker applied into the cover of the book. I applied this transparency to kind of get it to match the transparency of the text of The Wild Robot. But what I love is that it's an island. And The Wild Robot, we have this robot. I'm pretty sure she's like trapped on this island. So, loved it. Now, this is probably my second favorite inscription of this batch, and that is White Fang by Jack London. And it says, to Jennifer, which is my full name, from Uncle Jan in Alaska. Again, so fitting, so lovely to gift a book. I think this is why I've always thought that all of these Jack London things were set in Alaska instead of the Yukon, which I didn't actually realize was a different place. White Fang as a story itself, kind of weird. I don't know. I'm so like hit and miss or hot and cold with Jack London. But that is my last book, and thank you for humoring me with this exploration of doing something that I wanted to do, even though it's a little bit weird. Thank you for letting me be more open and vulnerable. Please don't be hateful or rude. I will send you out into the abyss if so. Thank you for being here with me. This has been probably one of the most important months of my life in terms of really finding better understanding of myself. I'm giving myself chills with how like life-changing what I have been finding out about what autism really is. It has been life-changing, and I just appreciate you all being here to experience the things that I love so much, like books, and to be here with me as I talk about them so passionately. So again, thank you all so much. I hope you had a good time. If you did, please consider recommending this to a friend who might enjoy it as well. Consider liking the video and subscribing, and I will be back again soon.